Hello and welcome everyone to International Urban and Regional Cooperation. I'm very, very glad that you've come to join us today. We're going to take a whirlwind international tour of opportunity with many of the program's masterminds and those making it happen on the ground. So I'm so excited that you've come to join us, and I hope that this is just the beginning of a wonderful couple of years of cooperation ahead. Let me start by apologizing that you can't see each other in this webinar because we've got over 360 present. We've got to keep the broadband under control, but in future events, you'll all be able to chat and engage with each other. Another note is that we are recording so that you can rewatch, and share with your friends and colleagues. We'll let you know when we make this video available. You can use the chat to ask questions, and you should feel free to just pour your thoughts in there at any stage. So if you want to comment, if you want to say anything, ask anything, we'll be happy to read that and to answer throughout. So just speak your mind. Now, let's see. Is anyone feeling chilly? I suggest that we begin by breaking the ice. Yeah, let's smash the ice to smithereens now that we've done away with the perfunctory functional stuff. I'm sure you guys are all familiar with I'd like you to use your mobile device. You can use your computer too, but I think you'll find it easier on your mobile phone to go to slido.com. You can see the web address there on the screen. It's slido.com. So I can hear you. My phone, I put it away because I wasn't going to check it or look at it at all for the next hour and a half. I wanted to be fixated fully on the screen. Understood, well understood, but the phone will be part of this experience. So go and fetch your phone from the attic or wherever you left it and put slido.com into the browser. Now, when you get to slido.com, I should say you can also scan this QR code, and that will bring you directly to the spot that you need to go to. When you get to slido.com, you'll be prompted to enter some information. The information you need to enter is there. Hashtag IURC, International Urban and Regional Cooperation. Hashtag IURC. So when you get to Slido, please just go ahead and enter that information. I'm sure, given all your tweeting, you know where your hashtag key is located and can quickly smash it out. So let's see. Okay, we're here. So guys, please, those of you in Slido, those of you not in Slido, please join. Those of you here, can you answer this question for us? Where are you joining from today? Are you in one of Europe's capitals? Are you? Oh, Brussels is a big hitter. Yes, okay, good. Glad to hear it. That's probably Rome, Slovenia, Hamburg, Turku, Denmark, Larissa, Sweden, Handolva, Poon, Poznan, Seoul, Utrecht, Thailand. Okay, brilliant. Japan, India, Riga, I said Turku already. I just get excited about Turku. Okay, fantastic, guys. Wow, it's so incredible to see people coming from so many places in the world. New Zealand, Wellington, Bilbao. Oh, cool. Okay, guys, so great to see that it keeps on pouring in. So we're already international, and shortly we're going to be already cooperating. Let's flick over to the next one. Thank you so much, guys, for exercising those fingers. So who are you, guys? Now to the big philosophical question. Are you city, region, private sector? Are you maybe a little confused about that at this time in the morning? Although it's not so early at this point, unless you're really international. Lots of cities here. More than half of us are cities, but regions are creeping up. Oh, down again, creeping up again. Okay, private sector, good, getting an eye in. We're looking forward to working with you. Academia, thank you for bringing your brains to the meeting. Few people still not sure who they are. I often get in that state myself, to be honest. It's one of those things that you lose from time to time, isn't it? And civil society, just 3%, but so important. So we're really glad that you managed to join us, and maybe some more will pile on as we go. So let's flick forward. We've got a quiz question coming up. I've said it twice. Were your ears pricked? Let's see in the quiz. Okay, people are joining in. Okay, great. So what does IURC stand for? Is it Ice Cream Urgency Recuperation Clan, International Union for Rural Change, International Urban and Regional Cooperation, or Intergalactic Urban and Regional Cooperation? Just take a second. It's a tough one. Look through those answers now. Are we ice cream, international, or intergalactic? Are we rural or regional? Are we urgent or urban? Make your choice carefully. There may be severe repercussions for any incorrect answer. No, I'm only joking. You don't have to worry if you get the wrong answer. But you will know by the end of an hour and a half for sure what IURC stands for, because we are going to say it and say it again. Let's see, what do we got here? Okay, Ines with comes in number 1 at only 8 seconds to answer. Rosa in at number 5 with 11 seconds. Maria, Paco, and Sarah, thank you so much for your nimble fingers. I'd be excited to see what the rest of the people had to say, but it doesn't appear to show up here, so we don't get the percentages on that one. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much for participating there. So brilliant to have your answers, and I hope you enjoyed that as much as we did. So I'm now going to hand you over to the masterminds, the puppet masters, those who made this event and the IURC itself possible. Let's start with Stefan Schlöning, who's the head of unit for industrialized countries and foreign policy support service for foreign policy instruments of the European Commission. So, Mr. Schlöning, please take it away.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Just checking, first of all, you hear me well?
I hear you loud and clear.
Excellent. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues, very happy to be with you this morning from Brussels. So I understand I'm in good company. I think Brussels was the #1 destination. Second thing, let me just say, for the record, that this very fancy title of Meeting the Masterminds was not my invention. I think I would have opted for something a bit more modest, but of course, very happy to be with you this morning for this important event. We are, just also, just to say, I realized this morning in the European Commission at least, but it might be a bit similar for you. I think we are starting week 54 of teleworking. So I think we got used to it in a way. I was also wondering, that normally in a more formal setting, you would have seen me in suit and tie. Who knows? I think this is one of the good things about teleworking, that it all has become a bit more casual, and maybe that's to stay. And then, of course, also this very wide variety of participants from all over the world in this online format is also an excellent thing. Now, a few words on the context, of the program. I mean, as you know, we are at the beginning of a new phase of the International Urban Cooperation Program. We had a first phase from 2017 until the end of 2020. So a few words on the rationale. Why are we doing this? Why has the European Union, the Commission, created that program? And I think the first and main thing to say is that it, of course, acknowledges the key role of local and regional authorities, of regions, of cities, in addressing global challenges such as sustainable urbanization. Cities are playing a decisive, a central role in the fight against climate change, energy transition. A few numbers to underline that. I think 70% of the world's energy is consumed by cities. A similar share of the world's CO2 emissions are produced by cities in cities. About 55% of the world population live in urban areas, and we expect this number to grow further up to close to 70% in 2050. And in Europe, it's even already today 70% of European citizens living in urban areas. Urbanization in itself is a challenge, and as the world continues to urbanize, sustainable development depends increasingly on the successful management of urban growth, in meeting the needs of the growing urban populations in terms of energy demand, in terms of housing, sustainable, affordable housing. I originally come from Berlin. I can tell you affordable housing is probably the #1 political issue there, and not only there, I assume. Transportation, other infrastructure, employment, basic education and health services, etc. But while cities are part of the challenges, they are also part of the solution. Cities are front runners when it comes to energy transition, adaptation to climate change, sustainable urban development, and innovation. And I'm very happy to say that the first phase of the program has really proven to be a tool to bring cities and regions around the world together to discuss, share, insights, interests, and exchange, and work together on solutions. We had more than 80 city pairings realized between EU cities and cities from Argentina, Brazil, Canada, Chile, China, Colombia, India, Japan, Mexico, Peru, and the United States during the first phase of the program. And these pairings have worked together on a number of sustainable urban development priorities: climate action, water, nature-based solutions, urban mobility, circular economy, culture, health, education, and many more. And we also had in the first phase of the program 20 regions from Latin America that have paired with regions in the EU to work in particular on innovation and smart specialization. And the past year has clearly demonstrated the need for greater urban resilience, as cities all over the world with the pandemic have faced unprecedented challenges. And this difficult period has also shown, is still showing, in fact, the need to stay connected, to exchange, expand our knowledge and exchange on our experiences, to work together on solutions and approaches for the future. We must continue to improve the situation for all, for citizens. And in this context, we are confident that the International Urban and Regional Cooperation Program will continue to make an important contribution, to these very important broader political context and agreements, the Sustainable Development Goals, the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, the new Urban Agenda, the Paris Agreement, the European Green Deal, and others. In terms of the geographical scope, also in the future, the program will continue to focus on key partner countries and regions in Asia and the Americas that were already prioritized under the first phase of the program. But we will also, under the second phase, open up city cooperation and sustainable urban development to the Republic of Korea, Southeast Asia, Australia, and New Zealand. And in the second phase of the program, cities and regions will be able to continue to cooperate both in pairings, but also in thematic clusters. We very much hope that the new phase will provide you with further inspiration, possibilities to take forward local and regional actions for sustainable urban development and innovation. And in the course of today's event, I think you will hear in more detail from my colleagues about the opportunities offered by the program. We'll be happy to reply to your questions. We have the support of Sandra Marin Herbert and her team of the IURC Central Coordination unit and her team. And I think we also have Severina Markova from my unit in Brussels with us to respond to your questions. Well, once again, thank you very much to the organizers for today's event. Thank you very much for everyone involved. And again, a very warm welcome to all of you participating in today's events. Thank you. Have a good morning. And back to you, Anthony. And I think then we have a second mastermind for this session. Over.
Many thanks, Mr. Schloding. Great. Thank you so much for that introduction and for the completely unjustified humility. Let me hand over now. You're going to hear from Rudolf Niesler, the Principal Advisor for International Relations of DG Regio of the European Commission, on why once wasn't enough.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, good morning. My name is Rudolf Niesler, and I am the Principal Advisor for International Relations at the Directorate General for Regional and Urban Policy of the European Commission. I would like to welcome you to this webinar to present you the new International Urban and Regional Cooperation Programme. As you know, since several years, the European Commission has increasingly supported actions to implement the new urban agenda of the United Nations, following the priorities and themes of the urban agenda for the EU and the Sustainable Development Goals. Projects like IURC during the past 4 years have demonstrated the profound interest at the level of decentralized authorities inside and outside the EU to cooperate on territorial development themes, and have led to implementation of pilot projects among local governments, research, business and civil society. This is what we call the quadruple helix. This year, and in the following 3 years, we will build on the IURC success so far through the launch of a second IURC phase to be called International Urban and Regional Cooperation, abbreviated IURC. I want to say that the European Commission is proud to continue to support city-to-city and region-to-region cooperation between EU and non-EU cities. And this sends a clear message that cities and regions play a critical role in sustainable development. And this role will only become ever more important with the implementation of the European Green Deal. IURC is indeed central to EU priorities, as the European Green Deal and the new Leipzig Charter, which provides a key policy framework for sustainable urban development, and highlights that cities need to establish integrated and sustainable urban development strategies and ensure their implementation for the hit city as a whole, meaning from its functional areas to all neighborhoods. As we have moved forward in the IURC project, and not least in view of the severity of the challenges we are confronting, we realized that we need to consider other models to transfer knowledge more quickly, including through trans-regional cooperation and thematic clustering of cities. Therefore, unlike in the current IURC city-to-city cooperation models, in the IURC, cities will primarily work in thematic clusters that focus on themes based on the UN New Urban Agenda and the Urban Agenda of the EU. Cities who wish to develop a more intensive cooperation with a European partner will also be able to pursue one-to-one city pairings, as it has been currently under IURC. Through IURC, the IURC program will be therefore expanded to ensure that this network of committed cities and regions grows and continues to foster sustainable urban development across the globe and to promote cross-regional and cross-national learning. For this global approach to happen, we will certainly put more effort on thematic capitalization and knowledge transfer to better capture and analyze the knowledge generated by each single thematic network. And we will make this knowledge meaning the main findings, the lessons learned and the experiences gathered, more accessible for participants in other regions and for urban practitioners in Europe in general. In this way, the program will provide evidence-based contents, policy findings and recommendations around the main themes covered. Ladies and gentlemen, we are living in times of many changes and transitions. Technological change and digital transition, demographic change and just transition. These challenges are reshaping and sometimes challenging really our everyday life, and will probably lead to a different world than the one of our predecessors. In the same vein, last year has clearly shown the need for greater urban resilience. Crises, including the coronavirus pandemic or the climate change crisis, do not have borders, neither local, national or international. In order to limit their impact, we need bold leaders who are willing to take decisive actions in collaboration with international partners across all governing levels. Under this new IURC thematic clustering approach, for DG Regio, it is important to focus on key EU priorities as the green and digital transition, as well as the green and inclusive recovery post-COVID-19. Cities and regions have a crucial role to make the twin green and digital transition happen. And this is an unparalleled opportunity to move out of the fragility of the crisis and create a new vitality for our economies. And through working together and networking, as we have been seen under IURC, cities and regions are developing innovative and original solutions. I wish to conclude by encouraging you very much to participate in the new IURC. I am convinced it will provide you with increased thematic networking possibilities, with the opportunity to showcase best practices internationally, and that it will improve local actions through the access to new ways of approaching common challenges. Thank you very much.
And a thank you from us to Mr. Nistler as well. That while that was going, we had the chat absolutely raving. So tons of people still introducing themselves from all over the world, as well as someone declaring long live the EU and someone thanking the Commission as well for a project a couple of years ago. So good to see that working its way forward. Do please keep pouring things into the chat. And I'd like to hand over now to Sandra Martin Herbert and Esteban Peleo to answer the question that I know is bubbling up for all of you. Okay, this is fantastic. Love to hear about it, but what's in it for me? Sandra, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Anthony. Good morning to everyone, or I don't know if to say good night. I've seen people from New Zealand, from Ushuaia in Rio Grande, in Argentina. So, okay, we were expecting only European cities and region, but it's super nice to have you all here, also people from Asia. Okay, just to recap a little bit and remember the structure of the program: European Commission, Service from Foreign Policy Instrument, and DG Regio, developed through regional implementers in the different geographical areas that you will meet in a few minutes, and supported by a central coordination service as us, which is a consortium led by Acciona, pioneers in sustainability for better lives, Eurocities, that most of you know as the main cities network in Europe, and Teurada, which is European Association of Regional Development Agency, and INFIDE, our specialist in smart specialization strategies. Today, you will meet Anthony from our team, Esteban Pelayo. Esteban, you're there. You should be. I don't see that. Okay. Who is the director of Teurada, but there's the whole team behind the scenes of the Central Coordination Unit that I would like you to meet at the end of this presentation. So, okay, I want to tell you a lot of good news. This is a second phase. So we already start with 165 cities and towns, 40 regions representing around 20 European member states and 11 non-European countries. This will increase with all of you, hopefully. So this is the last moment. I'm sure some of you remember the annual meeting in Brussels, the last time that we met in person. And the good thing from this is that we want to meet again in person. Remember when we used to give hugs instead of doing like this, like everyone does now, that I hate it, by the way. But we will come back to this. We know that face-to-face meeting is the soul of networking, so don't worry. Virtual meetings is a complement, but as soon as we can, we'll go back to this. So second phase, what is a good part of a second phase? That we can capitalize the lessons learned, and we will try to optimize the added value of international cooperation and move to a global network. So today, we will talk about how the new program works. There's a few differences with the first phase. I've seen in the registration a lot of people from IURC, but there's a couple of differences that I think you would like to hear. Then we would try to go straight to the point to make you understand what can you get from IURC, what can you get from this program. And you will hear not only from me, but from those who have already participated with real examples. If I didn't convince you by then, by the coffee break, in the chat, I hope with all the comments, by the way, don't remember to put the comments to all, not all panelists only, but all panelists and everyone else, okay? There's two options in the chat, so everyone can see it. So if I didn't convince you, maybe someone can do that during the coffee break. And then if you're staying with us, if you are still interested, then we can, after the coffee break, tell you everything you need to know to get involved. The call is opening today. And what is exactly the timing? So let's move on how does the program work. Well, you know that as well as it did in the first phase, we have two components: city-to-city cooperation, working on sustainable urban development from integrated approaches, and another component for region-to-region cooperation in the field of innovation and smarter specialization. These two components will have two different calls, okay? So regions apply and one call, cities apply in another way. But as a difference from the first phase, in this time, we want to promote multi-level governance exchanges. We will do that thanks to automatic networks and thematic clustering. So we believe there can be a lot of synergies between the two levels of government. How does it work at cooperation level? It's very important to understand that this is a facilitator. This program is a facilitator, and it facilitates exchanges to foster international cooperation. And we do it with online tools, and we do it especially with face-to-face support tools, which are dedicated to those selected. And how is this support? Through study visits that you will do to the non-European counterparts, and they will do to our cities and regions in Europe, through the participation to thematic and networking events, and through capacity buildings. This is more or less the same that it was in the previous phase. Okay, this is an important point. This is one new thing. Remember, in the previous program, all regions worked with one-to-one pairings, except China, who was working directly through clusters. Now we will have the opportunity to start working directly in clusters in all the geographical areas. So you will be initially paired with a non-European city or region, but then you will have the option in the same geographical area, if there's other participants working in the same topic, to create a cluster and work as a cluster. In any case, even if you choose to work in the cluster or as a one-to-one pairing, the program is working under thematic clusters. So at global level, you will be able to cooperate with all of them who are working in the same topic that you are. If you're in a cluster working on circular economy in Latin America, but there's other participants working in circular economy in Asia or Australasia, you will have spaces to interact. And this is important. As always, we ask you to include your stakeholders in the teams, okay? This helps us to give durability to the cooperation. Sometimes, you know, in some countries when governments change, people disappear, and we need to involve all those that have a role according to the topic. In this case, we're talking about business, academia, and civil society, depending on the competences they can have in the topic that you're working and cooperating with. Okay, let's go to something important, actually the most important part, which is the geographical areas. Okay, because of the time schedule, we don't have them live, but we have a representation of all of them. So I would like to introduce you one by one. In the case of IURC North America, again, United States and Canada, the only change is that Mexico is going to Latin America. So let's hear what they can tell us.
Hello, my name is Ana Guayarte. I work at the European Union delegation to Canada, based in Ottawa. I am project manager for the North American component of the EU-funded International Urban and Regional Cooperation, IURC. This project is a continuation of the previous IUC, supporting the cooperation between European and North American cities, specifically United States and Canada. IURC will support city-to-city and networking activities on key sustainable development topics, in line with the new urban agenda and the European Green Deal. Looking forward to continue our successful cooperation.
In our previous phase, the cooperation areas ranged from inclusive economic growth to redevelopment of industrial areas, from sustainable urban mobility to activation of public space, and from circular economy to sustainable tourism.
Many cities from our previous phase continue to cooperate beyond the IUC program, and it is our objective to cherish and to continue to support those relationships at 3 levels during the next 3 years with the IURC program. First, by developing new city-to-city collaboration pairings that can work together towards a shared urban cooperation action plan. Secondly, we'll be fostering regional clusters on specific themes of common interest to all the involved cities. And finally, we will be supporting the participation of our IURC cities in thematic global networks. And with all of this, we really hope to bring value to the participant cities. And that's why we invite you as a European partner to work with a Canadian, with a US city, to work with us in the region. And I hope to see you soon there. Thank you very much.
Okay, so in the case of IURC Latin America, same countries that in the first phase, but Mexico is included here. And in the case of Latin America, is city-to-city cooperation and region-to-region cooperation. So pay attention to the message.
My name is Stephanie Horrell. I am working in the EU delegation in Brasilia, and I will be in charge of the IURC program in Latin America. In Latin America, we will work with 6 different countries: Argentina, Brazil, Chile, Colombia, Mexico, and Peru. In the 6 countries, we will specifically work with 12 cities and 10 regions, and we will work with these cities and regions on specific challenges related to climate change or digitalization. As well, we work on improving investment in the territories that are more in need for these investment opportunities. So we are very excited to welcome you to this event, and we are really looking forward to starting activities here in Latin America.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Edgardo Sara. I'm the Deputy Team Leader for IURC Latin America. Just to add to Mr. Scorrell's remarks, we believe by organizing the participants in pairings for thematic networks, we will be able to promote access to best practices in urban development policy and regional innovation. To achieve this goal, we will provide support packages to the selected cities and regions, consisting in sponsoring the participation of designated officials in 12 international in-person networking events, as well as workshops, bilateral missions, and the development of 20 webinars in a wide array of topics such as access to green finance or urban mobility. We're really looking forward to meeting you all in person and enjoy the Latin event. Cheers.
Okay, in the case of China, China is China, so it's huge enough to be by themselves. and let's see what.
IUC Asia has achieved to create a network, a community, if I may say, a family of European and Chinese regional authorities, non-state and state actors, public and private friends and colleagues. It has inspired great willingness and commitment of cities from the EU and from China to work together on pertinent subjects, focus on sustainable urbanization, and act as real partners in times of pandemic. IURC China will further nurture this solid foundation, excel the quality of city and now regional partnerships, and elevate the cooperation to the next level by involving a strong dimension of innovation.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome from China. My name is Chris Brown. I'm the team leader. IURC China is unique amongst the IURC global programs, and that it's a bilateral program. We're dealing only with China. One of the great strengths that we enjoy is the support from the Central Chinese government, the National Development and Reform Commission, NDRC, and the municipal and the provincial DRCs. We already have several cities in China and in Europe engaged together, working on innovative partnerships. To give some examples, we have the city of Yangzhou, where our team are now working to set up pavilions, gardens, and webinars with Rome, Bologna, Barcelona, Stuttgart over the coming months. In May, we have an inauguration event between Mannheim in Germany and Chongqing, and we have partnerships in Yantai and other cities in China. Also, one of the innovative elements of this phase is a competitive fund mechanism to reward initiatives between China and Europe. So we're not just looking at study visits, which are obviously important, but we're looking to cement long-term partnerships. And with the strength of our team in China, who already know many of you cities, we're here to facilitate and we're here to strengthen and deepen the cooperation and achieve real results. So we very much look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Okay, and then we got the new territories that are being incorporated to the program, and it's actually the biggest geographical area, Asia and Australasia, where you will find India and Japan. India and Japan were already in the previous program, but now they are together with all these countries. But let's hear them from themselves and present you this.
I work for the European Union in Asia, and I'm responsible for the city-to-city cooperation between European Union cities and cities of Asia and Australia and New Zealand. We are working in a very diverse and wide geographical area where about 2 billion people live. This represents both challenges but also very good opportunities for urban development and for more cooperation between our cities.
Challenges for cities in our region include traffic congestion, resilience to climate change, energy efficiency, air pollution, waste management, and job creation. But there are many accomplishments here too.
In Malaysia, thanks to cooperation with the EU cities, we have developed circular economy solutions at city level to circularize the use of plastics and the construction waste.
In Korea, cities have been largely successful in developing digital solutions to track the spread of COVID-19. So there are lessons we can share with Europe.
In Japan, many cities are going climate neutral, working on the industrial transition, circular economy, and developing innovative mobility solutions.
In Australia and New Zealand, cities are implementing the low-carbon energy transition, improving resource management, and including Indigenous people.
In Indonesia, cities have developed innovative solutions for food supply, including urban farming and real-time pricing apps.
In Thailand, cities are developing innovative approaches to build smart cities, protect cultural heritage, and promote creative economy.
In Vietnam, areas of cooperation include climate resilience and circular economy, as well as sustainable growth.
In the case of India, cities will cooperate as part of the EU-India Urbanization Partnership in developing new initiatives.
In Japan, cities will cooperate within the EU-Japan Regional Policy Dialogue.
We look very much forward to involving 34 cities from the EU to pair up with partners here to learn from each other and develop joint pilot actions. We encourage you to involve partners from research, civil society, and business in the cooperation. Welcome.
Okay, so I would say, I don't know what the opinion you have from, or if you had already a idea of what would be the geographical area of your choice. But remember that for region to region, only Latin America and China. The rest is city to city. So I would like to, okay. I would like to go through Slido. I'm gonna see the Slido here. Yeah, okay. I cannot see the, I cannot access. Ariana, are you there? Can you play the Slido for me? please, because I don't know why this bar stayed here. And okay, I got it now. Sorry. Okay. Who is sharing the screen? You or me? Now I'm confused.
It's me, Sandra.
Okay. Okay, so here's the question. What is your geographical area of interest? After listening to all the representatives, all our offices in the different areas. Okay. Well, the new one is actually winning, I guess, Asian, Australasia. All right. Well, the good news is you will see later on that there's more possibilities there, more positions, let's say. Okay. Okay. So let's go back. You can all see my screen again, I hope. Okay, good. So let's move on. How does it work at thematic level? Okay, same international reference framework as we had before. This is the Agenda 2030 with the SDGs for city to city, mainly number 11, the new urban agenda, especially for us in Europe, urban agenda for the EU, but we also incorporated and had into account the new priorities of this commission. We have the new Leipzig Charter giving us the focus on the integrated sustainable urban development focus, but we have also new priorities involved, like the European Green Deal. Together with this, we have also analyzed what were the main topics that you guys used in the previous phase and you incorporated in your action plans. And together with this, we have worked moving into thematic concentration. So we have 3 thematic networks that I would like to comment now. Ecological transition and Green Deal for city to city. We have circular economy. We have seen already some countries talking about that. Nature-based solutions, including also the greening, but the water management, sustainable urban agriculture, and this incorporates also the farm to fork priority of the Green Deal or the renovation wave. In the case, Esteban, of the region to region cooperation, you have also some topics here, right?
Yes, good morning, everybody. These type of things were one of the key priorities in the previous phase. So it's very important because in most of the pairing, there were content on that. So we have sustainable urban agriculture, agri-food chains, food system. My advice is not to be too focused, because imagine if you have fisheries or milk production in your territory, don't only be willing to cooperate on that. Try to be in the middle, not too wide or to be focused. Try to work on innovation, transformation of the industry, like in precision agriculture, which will be very welcome, water management, or high value added product. So try to be more horizontal than only focusing in a few products that your region maybe will to produce or to cooperate there.
That's quite good point, Esteban. Yeah, in you guys will have in the application forms, we will ask you to select what are your priority sub-themes in the thematic networks, but you have a space to write others in case there's something that is interested and is not within these groups. Okay. Ariana, I don't know, before we start talking, I cannot see the chat, so I don't know if there's questions and you want me to you want to interrupt us and we can ask some questions maybe from the previous part, so we can mix it and not leave it to the end. We have a 10 minutes delay already, so but what do you think?
I can already ask you a few questions.
Sure.
So there was one question on can existing city-to-city and region-to-region partnership participate in IURC to take advantage of IURC support?
Well, yes, I think I would prefer to answer that question in the second part, because we're going to talk about all these possibilities for the existing parents and the future parents.
Okay, then maybe there is one that is more relevant for this part. How are you planning to involve the civil society to reach the quadruple helix?
Okay, this is a good question. Actually, we expect you to involve the civil society. Why? Because depending on the topic, the delegation that you are included in your team should include civil society. Okay. So if you are working, I can give you examples like it happened in the first phase. If there was a parent working on urban agriculture, and these spaces were promoted by associations. So in this case, the association was an important stakeholder in this cooperation. So actually, you will have the chance to incorporate social the civil society into the groups, okay? And then we as program will promote them to participate in the virtual events, as doing training, telling their experiences, but always coming from your hand.
Thank you, Sandra. Maybe one other question before we go on. What is the definition of a region? There is a participant from a metropolitan area covering 100 municipalities, and they participated in IUC as a city. So can you help us out on this?
Esteban, I don't know if because
Yes.
we have a specific space for that also in the second part. So I don't know, Esteban, if you want to clarify that now or when we start talking about who is eligible to apply.
Maybe I will say something very short and we continue. It's true that Europe is very diverse, and imagine in the world. So we are pairing region to region, so it's quite different. So for us, a region doesn't matter the size. It's more the policies that is able to apply. So it's if they have, if there is a public government or an agency dealing with innovation, the economic growth, and the structure of the economy in the territory where it matters to be eligible as a region. But it's true that there are differences among the territories in Europe, and we cannot say NATS 2, NATS 3 or a very strict application. It's a matter of your competence, because we are going to pair you in those topics.
It's a bit complicated, but we will go over that in the second part. So let's keep talking about the thematic you have seen already. So we are talking about city configuration and urban planning in the case of city to city, with the strategies that you have at city level. The model of city of proximity, 15-minute vision as an example. Mobility and transport is also included here because we really link it to the urban planning. And urban poverty, deprived neighborhoods, which is one of the most important topics also for the European Commission, included everything that has to do with social cohesion. And this topic is especially highlighted after in the current times. And Esteban, in the case, you have also for region to region something here, right?
Yeah, this is an important topic, and especially if we consider that China is included as a new place for pairings. So we could think about measures or policies to support the competitiveness, the diversification, in a wide range of activities. You could imagine the application of ICT to the territories with the Internet of Things, high performance computer, artificial intelligence. So it's try to work and to cooperate in these new activities and innovation that will support the economic transformation of the industry in your territories.
Yeah. Okay. Third thematic network is including innovation and strategic sectors. In the case of City to City, was very highlighted tourism and culture, also especially in these times because they've been so strongly hit by the crisis, the pandemic. Health, life science, energy and bioeconomy. This is a top one also in Asia. And innovation centers, clusters have the role here in this thematic network. And this is the top one for region to region, I would say, Esteban, this network, right?
Yeah, in the past, we have worked with Latin America and smart specialization and the new generation of sustainable smart specialization strategies. The S4 are quite relevant because they influence a lot in the governance. It's an horizontal policy that influence a lot in many other activities. So many of the pairings were related to that. But as well, we are looking for the future, the orange economy. I like the color here. How is the creativity and how we could cooperate on that, on cultural activities, on tourism, and this type of action that will foster a transformation and a fruitful collaboration between the regions, as well education and skills and jobs, which are quite relevant.
Yeah, this is an important for you. Okay, now let me move to the Slido because I would like to ask you about which is your thematic network you would like to focus your cooperation on. Okay. All right. We are asking you now between the three of them. We will see shortly the cross-cutting main challenges, because you maybe are missing a thematic network like Smart City. Okay, you will see that is a cross-cutting in this program. Okay. Well, they're quite even, I would say. Well, carbon neutral ecosystems. Okay. Okay. You will be able, you will be able to choose. Actually, we will ask you in the application form to give us your priority from 1 to 3, not only with the geographical areas, but also with the thematic networks. Okay. So let's keep moving on. Cross-cutting overall challenges. In the previous phase, Smart City was actually a network, but we realized that it's really cross-cutting to all the thematics. So digital transition in the case of City to City, including Smart City, energy transition and climate change, or post-COVID recovery, and in the case of City to City, social justice and inclusion will be what we call cross-cutting overall challenges. So they can be affecting all the 3 thematic networks, okay? Just think that this will be a way to cluster you and to organize all the information and all the deliverables you produce. Okay, so how does it work in the thematic clustering? You have to think, once you are selected, we said you could be paired or enter in a cluster. You do that at that geographical area supported by a pairing manager, but then you will have opportunities to cooperate with the rest of participants at program level that are working in the same cluster, that thematic cluster that you are. So this is how we talk about thematic clustering networking. So you will have to produce for those selected at pairing and cluster level, this is what we call level 2, you will have to produce, as well as you did in the previous phase, a cooperation action plan. For those of you who are new, don't be scared. It's not an action plan like the ones you have in URBAC or like the ones you have in your own city. This is more a roadmap of cooperation. Okay, so putting together who was involved in this cooperation, what actions are you developing, and what actions would you like to develop after the cooperation period. And you will produce something that we can share with the rest of the network. So in terms of lessons learned, takeaways, key stakeholders, or case studies. in that at the thematic level, we will be exchanging and we will work on policy recommendations also and publications and capacity building. So whatever you're doing and you're producing at the geographical area, then it goes up to the global level of the program. Okay, so what can I get from IURC? Let's go to the practical point, not only from what we think is the added value, but what participants from IURC have told us. So this is not only me or Esteban talking, but you would listen to them. So what can I get from IURC? Sometimes the first question is money. Well, if you're thinking this is like urban innovative action, for instance, that you can get up to 5 million to finance one of the pilots. No, this is not that kind of program. Remember, we said this is a program about facilitating. So like everything in life, it depends on how you see this program and how you see everything in life. You can see it as my dog here with bee glasses, and you know that bees, they always find the flowers no matter how hidden they are. So you can see this program with big glasses, or you can see this program with foggy glasses, which is what we are really using now with the mask. But look what happened if you have foggy glasses.
945.
Foggy moments can be risky.
I love this advertising. I really recommend it. Okay, let's see how participants in the previous phase put the huge big glasses to benefit from international cooperation. So one of the main points, opening markets and opportunities to your stakeholders, to those business and academia that we were mentioning. So an example, the cargo railway connection between Mannheim in Germany and Chongqing in China. Of course, the program is not able to finance a cargo railway connection, but Mannheim was clever enough to see the opportunities that the program could offer. And it was a direct access to the highest political level in China that would help this project to be possible. So let's listen to the mayor.
Das jüngste Mannheim-China-Projekt ist eine direkte Zugverbindung nach Chongqing, entstanden aus der International Urban Corporation. Man hat dort Mannheim und Chongqing zusammengebracht. Daraus haben sich in Mannheim das Unternehmen Maventi auf der einen Seite und auf der anderen Seite in Chongqing ein Partnerunternehmen Fengshare gegründet.
Okay, so let's see. In the case of region to region, Esteban, I think it's the role of opening opportunities for business is even bigger, even if it was only in Latin America at that time, right?
Yeah, but we have a very good pairings that work quite well. For example, this one about the Ostrobothnia in Finland, the regional council was leading the collaboration with Tierra del Fuego. They have a complete agenda of things to do because both regions are quite similar. And imagine they are both oriented to exportation, to export. Ostrobothnia exports 70% of their value, and as well in both regions they are big corporations and not SMEs, so they wanted to discuss about that, and they achieved very concrete and specific outputs. For example, to work in forestry and how to use better technology to burn the wood, and as well Ostrobothnia is one of the best regions in Europe in using smart grids and renewable energies, and they produce and establish a specific commercial agreement with the companies in Tierra del Fuego to support them, and as well the governance from the government. And they did as well things related to culture, like for example to go to ski. People from Finland went to ski to Tierra del Fuego, the southernmost competition in the world, they say.
Well, we have people from Tierra del Fuego connected, I think. So amazing. It has to be 5, 6 o'clock in the morning. Okay, benchmarking and international positioning. I would ask you guys to comment in the chat, because this is what we understood by the previous experience. What was the added value of international cooperation? But if you are thinking about something else, please illuminate us in the chat, okay? And comment on that. So benchmarking and international position. This is one of the obvious ones. This is an example of Valerio and Rom, who started working with Barranquilla on migration, but since Rom was or is the leader of the urban agriculture transfer network in URBAC through the program Rural Urban, they saw the opportunity of transferring this and positioning their international experience in Latin America. So this was quite interesting. I think we have Claudio Borde here, but let's go to his declaration.
The international urban cooperation between Velletri, Rome and Barranquilla has been a great opportunity to explore how the experience in terms of governance of urban gardens and farms can be transferred from the cities involved within urban project under URBAC program to Latin America. And this project has shown that urban agriculture can positively impact not only on urban regeneration and social cohesion, but also and especially on access to healthy food during COVID crisis.
Okay, this is an important one because Barcelona, Rome, and Stuttgart are right now in Jiangsu, China, in the Horticultural Expo, and this is coming from their collaboration in IURC. So the exhibition started right now. In the case of Stuttgart, they don't have a garden project, but they are within the European Pavilion. So this is actually a great opportunity for them as well.
IURC program was a great discovery for us. We are working with several cities in China. Our project is with Guangzhou, and I find IURC program one of the most useful and concrete project in the European context of cooperation.
Okay, and Castilla-León, the region.
Here in the photo, you could see the visit of the governor of the province of Córdoba. This was the starting point after some discussion and give a big boost because they met the president of the region. And they work a lot in car production, in technologies connected with car, as well in tourism and food and agriculture. The best thing that they got is a connection between the research and innovation applied organization, the Technology Center of Castilla-León, with entities in Córdoba. In particular, they organized an institutional mission for that. It was really interesting, the opening doors to make business there in technology and innovation.
Okay, something else, I don't know, Ariana, how's the chat doing? Any other experience about the added value of cooperation? Or we move on?
A lot of questions, but no.
Go ahead. More related to the application, I imagine.
Yes.
Okay.
But maybe one that you can take now is, I think you already covered shortly, but maybe it's worth repeating. Can cities participate in more than one thematic network?
Okay. They will, yes, but we will have to see, okay, they can participate in more than one thematic network, but they need to focus when they cooperate within a cluster. They will be working, let's go back to the example of circular economy. They're working in the geographical area on circular economy, okay? And maybe some complementary topics that probably belong to the thematic network, ecological transition and Green Deal. But they can participate in other thematic networks at global level, in the virtual format. So the answer is yes.
Okay, and maybe
it's just a minute. It's important to understand that one of the lessons learned from the previous program is that when a parent was working in 5 completely different topics, at the end there was no really something concrete that could be transferred to the rest because they didn't have maybe the right technicians in the study visits to work and advance on concrete actions on all the topics. So there will be interaction, of course, in several things, because once you do the study visit, you will see work on the circular economy, but also in some complementary things of the city. But we want you to produce something tangible, some takeaways, some do's and don'ts that can be transferred to other cities. So there will be one priority network that we would like you to work. But yes, you will be able to collaborate in other networks.
Okay, and maybe one more, two questions that are connected. So someone is asking, is the program is going to finance infrastructure development? And another question is are we gonna provide subsidies?
Okay, no, maybe they were not in the previous slide. No, we are not giving financing to do infrastructures. Okay, the program is a facilitator. We facilitate the exchange of knowledge in order to improve that infrastructure, but we are not financing infrastructures. Okay, I would tell you also in the second part, things that small short-term actions that could be financed, but it's not that kind of actions.
Okay, and maybe just before you go on, I see there are a lot of questions related to how the pairing will work. So I would just mention that we have developed a frequently asked question document that we will share at the end of this call and of this webinar, and you will find many answers to the question that I see now in the chat in the Q&A, in the frequently asked question.
Yeah, I will stay during the coffee break to answer questions, and I know we are 10 minutes delayed. We started with 10 minutes late, but I can stay a bit longer to ask you to answer questions. That's no problem. Okay, so don't worry that we will try to answer as much as we can today. That's what we are here for. Okay, so let's move on. This is Umea Kamakura. Umea was let's go straight to listen to her, to Suzanne.
One concrete idea that has brought a lot of value added to the city of Umeå from the IURC cooperation was the citizen engagement method that we got involved in while visiting Kamakura in Japan. We are now doing a pilot of our version of Kamakon in Umeå, and the Swedish National Innovation Agency has decided to finance that. It will be a digital event taking place in June this year, and we really hope to be able to invite the city of Kamakura to see the success of UmeCon by the time of next year.
Okay. Then from the United States, the cooperation with North America, in the case of Villanova de Famalicão in Portugal, they were able to include, inspired by Fort Collins, the pedestrian approach in their action plan for active biking. There's something really interesting here that if you are able during the study visits to create real friendships, so it's personal and professional knowledge where we are exchanging. So that makes this normally when parents are able to do this, they keep the cooperation outside the program, and this is what we want actually. Okay, and the last added value is for us is, I don't know if there's still more comments or more ideas in the chat about this, but yeah, is to be part of a global network. Okay, and see the lessons learned. This is an interesting case, Rotterdam and Surat. Surat was developing a water plaza, and Rotterdam was able to give them their knowledge and their experience in the design and the tendering. But the project has been selected to the London Design Biennale. So somehow Rotterdam, that started through Surat, is also related to the success of this project in Europe, back in London. So sometimes you can see how also in this declaration we can see the mix of uses. Okay, it's not only the use that in India you can get to a water plaza and its access to drinking water is important, but also the mix with urban planning, because finally it's a public space. So I think that's really interesting. And here we will finish with the examples, Esteban.
This pairing was managed by the development agency of Northeast Romania with Valle de Aburrá in Colombia. They received the manager, the mobility advisor of Valle de Aburrá and the intelligent cities of the region in Colombia. And they developed together interesting mobility plans and action for smart cities. And related to companies, they matched together Rubihub, which is a very good incubator that they have in Northeast Romania, with Ruta N, which is a similar entity that they have there. And they work together about how to support and provide mentoring to the people that create companies.
Okay, before we go to the coffee break, I would like you to let me see. Okay, I would like you to go back to the Slido for the last question. And just, I know you're representing institutions here today, but I would like to ask you as a person, as an individual. So what would you like to get from IURC program? So let us see what can you get as a person. And this is anonymous, so you can write anything you want. Okay. I think you can choose 2 of them, okay? So if you want to get out of your house and go back to travel, you can, don't worry. We don't know who you are. We can imagine most of us are like that, so, okay. Inspiration. And this is cool because it's true. You exchange better with what didn't work than sometimes which did work. So thank you very much. We have time now to go for a short coffee break. I can keep asking questions in the chat, and we'll come back in 5 minutes to the application form. If we were ready, if we convinced you on how to apply, that would be great. And we'll see you in 5 minutes. So, Ariana. Sí, estoy en ello. Estoy en ello. Okay, there's a lot of questions. I've been trying to answer a few of them during the coffee break, but let's see if we can answer some of the questions in this explanation, and otherwise I would help you with this, okay? So, city-to-city cooperation, cities, metropolitan areas, or functional areas with at least 100,000 inhabitants. These functional areas, we understand it as is an opportunity for smaller municipalities to get together and apply. Okay. In the case of, I've been seeing questions about UK. Can UK cities and regions apply? Yes. Why? Because this program is financed through the multi-annual financial framework, last one. But you can apply, but you will have to agree to be named as a EU city or region, to include the European flag, to fulfill all the communication requirements of the program. So this is be treated as EU city or region. Okay, you will see that also in the application form, but you can apply. Esteban, are you there maybe to comment on this? You already did a little bit, but
yeah, for region there is not a size, so there are many diverse regions. It's a matter of the policies that the entity that applies is dealing with. Should be entities dealing with applies connected with the regional strategies for economic growth, the regional innovation strategies, and the sector and the industries that we were talking and that are positioned in the cluster. So it's more who you are and not how you are considered, let's say, because there are a diversity of subnational organization in Europe, and then we cannot say NUTS 2 or NUTS 3 or whatever other configuration. It's what is considered region in your country.
Okay, so it's a case-to-case base, I guess, that we will see. Okay, so some questions I think that I've seen in the chat regarding this. So I'm a former IURC participant. Can I apply? The answer is yes. You have to start thinking that just being IURC participant, you are already a member of the IURC global network. Okay, so you can apply. To apply is just to be able to get supported to this face-to-face part of the program, let's say. But yes, you can apply. If you are selected, you may follow the cooperation that you started with your initial pair under thematic networks. I think one of the questions was on that line. Or in exceptional cases, be paired to finish starting actions. So in some geographical regions, that might be possible, and in some cases. But you have the possibility to extend cooperation to new geographical areas, okay? There's an exception if you were affected by COVID restrictions during IUC, because there was a few pairings that were not able to develop the cooperation because of the pandemic. So you will be asked about this in the application form, and you can tell us what is your situation. Some of the pairings kept working together through virtual format, and they were even able to define actions, and some of them just disappeared. So there's also case-to-case cases that we will need to analyze. Okay. I don't know, Ariana, if you want me, I go slide by slide, and if you see questions, just stop me. Okay.
Maybe Sandra, one question. So we were supposed to finish in 5 minutes from now. Should we clarify? We can go on. So if you can stay, you are more than invited to stay. And as mentioned before, otherwise there will be a recording of this session published on YouTube. And if we don't manage to cover all your question, we invite you to check the frequently asked question or to send us an email.
Okay. Yeah, and just yeah, we started 10 minutes late, so it's okay. It's we will try to answer as many questions as possible today. Okay, so Ariana, if you see, just interrupt me, and we will go. And then anyway, after I finish, I will keep answering questions. So what happens if I'm selected? First of all, we expect that between September and October to start out with a virtual meeting, meet the counterparts, define the topics of cooperation, because you will be probably matched because you had a common challenge under these networks or sub-teams, but you need to get concrete on that, okay? Decide who are the stakeholders that you're going to involve, so the counterpart involves similar ones, and sign a protocol or letter of intent. It's just a document where the cities, the two cities with a pairing, all the cities or all the regions in a cluster will sign a document saying we will commit to work together, and it will be also signed by the geographical area where you belong. Then we will start the study visits. This is initially normally is EU to the non-EU area. We expect this to be happening in 2022, of course, always depending on the pandemic travel restrictions. And once you are in the non-European city region, then you will decide when is the date of the visit to come to Europe. During this cooperation period, which is going to take a maximum of 24 months, so you will finish in September 2023, you will develop this roadmap of cooperation that we call urban or regional cooperation action plans. Selected regions will receive all the package with all the instructions, but basically the cooperation would establish concrete actions that you can develop during the cooperation. You have seen the type of actions with the previous example that we are talking about, okay? And you will be all the time supported by virtual exchanges. So there's also places to meet in the annual events in Brussels, especially for sure for the European cities and regions, and most of the ones in non-European areas. Trainings, thematic and networking events. Okay, this is similar to what we had in the previous IUC. And always you will have spaces to showcase your experiences, articles, the expert voice, and so on in a global network approach, and that will be supported by our website and also in the events where we participate. So additional possibilities, and I think there was a couple of questions on this. Okay, so we are not paying infrastructures, as we said, we are a facilitator. But there is a possibility that some of the actions that you have included in your action plan, that they are quite mature, that they can be financed. We are talking about short-term mature actions, okay? That can be developed during the cooperation. And these are some examples. We do that as something similar to a competitive fund. So it's not all of them, but they will be selected in each geographical area. What kind of actions are these? We have some examples here. Granada organized a series of webinars on blockchain, and that was financed by the program. Rome Sapienza University organized a summer school on urban tools, digital tools like geographical information system for urban planning. Or we had also internships. Okay, this is an example of Spanish universities working with Madrid that went to Buenos Aires to support them in business improvement districts in concrete. But these are maybe an internship is something that you have after the study visit, you have decided that there's some very mature action and you want to extend that expertise or that relation. So you need a specific technician that goes to the other city or region, okay, to get deeper knowledge or to train someone. And also this internship could be substituted by the participation to an event. If you are working on mobility and then you have important things to share in the name of the program, you may be supported to participate, I don't know, in the Civitas forum, okay? And you have another opportunity, this is new, to become a Sherpa or a lighthouse city or region in a concrete subtheme. Okay, this is, you will be also asked in the application form. This means that you have, is not a general expertise in international cooperation, it's a concrete expertise in a topic. If you are applying, we keep with the circular economy example, if you apply and your first choice is circular economy and you are leading our project or you are a master in plastic treatment or whatever, then you can offer yourself, okay, I would like to be a Sherpa Lighthouse. What does this mean in a practical way? It means that your big glasses are bigger than anyone else, okay? Because it's not that you're getting extra money for being, no, you're getting more opportunities to help the program to select case studies, help the program in the way of creating the policy recommendations, be the speaker in more events, maybe do some training because you are the expert there. And we will have this at the thematic level. So you can be a Sherpa that is coming from North America, but you will also be collaborating in Latin America, for example. Okay.
Sandra, I
Yes.
will ask you a few questions.
Sure, go ahead.
So we have a few questions regarding carrying on from IUC. So if you carry on from IUC, what is the difference from being selected for IURC? And can you also, for example, can you then be funded for travel mission? And another similar question was, how long can you continue as IUC within IURC? So maybe we need to be a bit more clear on that.
Okay, being just to try to make it as practical as possible, but I would say that you will be, if you're, the difference is you're an IUC member, you're already a member of the network. That means that you can keep cooperating with anyone in the network, your initial pairings, new pairings, but only on connections on a virtual level. Okay, you will not be financed to travel. This is the main difference. In order to be financed to travel, do the study visits, you need to apply and be selected again. Okay, so I don't know if I'm keeping with this. This doesn't mean that if you have not been selected by any reason, and you were working in North America, and North America is organizing an event, and you were you had a very good experience that right now with the new topics is important enough. Maybe you could be invited as a speaker, okay? But this is something that it will depend on the final matching, on the final topics, and it depends, but it could happen. But for sure, in a virtual way, you will participate and you will be able to cooperate virtually. You will have spaces also to showcase. Actually, this slide. Okay, what happened if I'm not selected? Even if you are IUC, you applied again or you didn't apply, but you were not selected. For those who are new, if they have, because IUC are automatically part of the network. You're already part of the network. But new cities and regions applying, if they have a score of at least 60% in the application form, and there are other cities or regions, depending on the case, sharing the same challenges. So if there's that topic is one of the selected ones in the program, you will be included in the IURC virtual community as well. Okay, so that means that you can participate in the trainings, in the virtual activities, in the thematic networking online events. Okay, and so you will have spaces to showcase articles, the voice of the expert. You can be there even if you were not selected. Okay,
so Sandra, basically they have to reapply to be part of IURC.
To be part of to be supported in IURC to travel.
Yes.
Okay.
And there are a few questions coming about what if the missions were interrupted by COVID? How are we addressing that subject?
Okay, well, that's a good question. If they are interrupted again, we will move to the same thing we did in IUC.
No, if they were participating
if they
in
were,
IUC.
sorry. Okay. You will. I think I explained that before. You have to apply anyway, and we are asking you, were you interrupted? Were you already in IUC and you were not able to do the study cases? So, and we asking you a couple of questions about the maturity of your relation, because as I said, there was two possibilities. There were pairings that were not able to travel, but they started the cooperation through virtual meetings, events. They even work on the cooperation action plans, define actions. So of course there's a difference, but they just were not able to do the study visits. So there's a difference between those ones and the ones that just didn't even do study the virtual relation. Okay, but we are asking you that in the application form, so you will have time to, you will have a space to clarify that. But we need you to apply. Yes, we need you to fulfill the application form anyway. More questions, or we move on? So how do we evaluate? There's two things: application form and matching possibilities. We depend on what's happening in the geographical areas. Right now, we are talking about the call for European cities and regions, okay? European cities and regions, we are doing an open call. In the different geographical areas, this is different, but it's going to be a parallel process, okay? So it happened in the last in the previous phase that there were very good application forms, but they had no matching possibilities, and they were not selected. So we want these people to be selected, at least, so that's why they will still belong to the virtual community, and they will have a role. Not traveling, not supported to travel, but they will have a role. So we depend on the matching possibilities, okay? So it's not only you need a good application form, but then we need to have matching possibilities. So this is something that I think is interesting for you. How many cities and regions are being selected in the geographical areas? So in total, it's up to 64 cities and 20 regions. Okay, we have 12 pairings in Latin America, that's 2 pairings per country, and 10 regions, 10 pairings for regions. In North America is 8 cities, so 8 pairings. When I say 8 cities, 8 European cities, 4 for United States and 4 for Canada. In China, we have 10 cities and 10 regions. In Japan, 10 cities and 10 regions. For the new countries entering for city-to-city cooperation of Indonesia, Malaysia, Republic of Korea, Thailand, and Vietnam is 10 cities, 2 per country. And for Australia and New Zealand, same thing, 2 per country. So that's 4 cities, okay? Something important. In the case of China, Japan, and India, at least 50% of the cities of those countries, they will be IURC cities, okay? The ones in their countries, because the selection process in those countries is being different. So they want to maintain at least 50% of the previous ones, okay? So some of the cities that you already know will repeat. What else? In the case of, remember that we were talking about clustering, there's some countries that would go, you would go directly to work in clustering, okay? This is the case of Indonesia, Southeast Asia, also in Republic of Korea, in Asia and Australasia, all these cities that are, because we're talking about 2 per country, they will work directly as a cluster, okay? So questions on this? Or otherwise?
Maybe Sandra, there is a question on can a city make more than one application for different geographical areas?
Yes, I would suggest if they are doing that from different departments. If you are only interested in working in a topic like urban mobility, okay, you only need 1 application form because it's the same department. So it's 1 application form, but you will be asked which is your priority geographical area, which is the second one, and which is the third one. I think we're asking you for 2 or 3 options. So you don't need, but sometimes it happens, especially in very big cities, that they don't even know internally, but there was the Department of Urbanism or the Department of International Relations or the department, and they are applying. So it's not that if we receive 2 application forms from different departments wishing to work in different topics from the same city, we're going to say, no, this is not eligible, like in other programs. No, we will evaluate both application forms. So there could happen that 1 city is selected to work in 2 different geographical areas. Okay, it could happen because we depend on the matching. If they both had a very good application and we have the matching process and they need that kind of city, and you know, there sometimes some cities ask for, okay, I need a city of over 1 million inhabitants. Okay, otherwise, you know, so these are things that would depend on the matching. But yes, we will try that as many as possible. We have more cities, but it could happen because of the matching.
And Sandra, another question. What criteria are used to select cities and region, and what aspect is the most important in the application?
Okay, we are considering the application as a whole, and we are asking you about your expertise. We are asking you about your experience, and not only in the topic that you are wishing to bring to the cooperation, but also on international cooperation. Okay, so these things count. What else? We need, depending on the country where you're working, but we ask at least the coordinator is fluent in English, because if you are invited to speak in international events, we need at least someone to speak in English. The way you include stakeholders is also important. So everything that we are asking you you will see in the application form, everything that we are asking you about stakeholders, about multi-level governance, everything is important, okay? And we are considering the application as a whole. So everything, we are asking you for concrete things. If you have, in the case of cities, if you have a sustainable urban development strategy as a whole, and the challenge or the experience you want to bring to the cooperation is included in that strategy because you have a strategy. So there's a lot of questions you will see, and all of them are important, okay? All of them are important. More questions. I don't know if it's good that I go to the timing because I'm finishing here, and then I open the chat as well, okay? And you guys can keep asking questions. This is the timing, just to have an idea. Today we are launching the call. You can find it in the, I don't know if Ariana, you put a link in there, but you can find it in the website. By the way, the website, we are launching the website also today. We were rushing, really organizing everything in only because all the contracts, we started 3 months ago only. So we've been doing a very hard job to have everything ready as soon as possible. Parts of the website are under construction, especially those from the geographical areas. So just forgive us and give us a little bit more time, but you will find everything about the call in the website. So today we launch the call. Deadline is May the 31st. Between June and July, we'll be evaluating application forms and evaluating matching possibilities. The different geographical areas are selecting their cities and regions in a similar process, except China with the regions. So regions applying to China will have to wait a little bit longer for that. We will be communicating, finalizing the matching hopefully, and communicating it to the selected ones between July and September. And in September, October, we will start with the first virtual meeting to know each other that I was mentioning before. Okay, so this is the timing. I would like you to finish to meet the team that is behind the scenes. Okay, from there's more people here that we didn't put. Carolina in Acciona, we have Leticia, Ramon in Eurada, Delia and Gloria also in Eurada, but in China. So there's more people here, and we are all wishing to help you apply. Okay, so you have here, we will ask you to follow us in all the net and all the social media. This is the email. We expect to have everything ready by now, but with the email we have some problems, but we are fixing that today, so it should work. coordination-unit@iurc.eu. So I will stop sharing the screen. Association of Cities and Regions apply somehow, yes, because we would consider you as a functional area, as a group of cities, okay? But you would have to in any case to mention which is the, because you're bringing that, you're proposing an experience that you want to share, so that will probably come from one of the cities or one of the regions. But yeah, we will accept you. Most important ability to mobilize relevant and active stakeholders, ability to execute pilot projects. Exactly. Yeah, we are asking you all that in the application form. So yes, Turkey cannot apply, unfortunately, only EU member states. Just for apparently, okay.
Maybe Sandra, there is just an important question that was just published. It remains unclear to me as an IUC formed pair CD with Japan. Shall I apply for the same pair, or do I have to open to a cluster?
You can apply if you want to. You can apply, and if you want to keep working, we are not asking you about the city you want to. Okay, you will. If I remember well, we are not asking you have things to. You have spaces to comment, but it's up to you. You can ask. I would like to keep working with my original pair, but also extending to other ones. So it's up to you. Okay, but please think that maybe not all if you're talking about Japan, in Japan there's 5 or 6 cities that from IUC that will repeat. Okay.
And another question that is important because we mentioned several times that the regions are following a different process to select cities, but the US is an exception to this because they will have an open call. So to the question is if there is a different deadline for non-EU city, for example, what is the deadline for US cities? And we know that the call is gonna open in May for US cities.
Yes.
And it will be published on the same website. So the same link that I put in the chat will be where you will find also the call for the US cities. And on the deadline, it will be shown on the website. So visit us again in May for that.
Yeah, it's exactly. You answered perfectly. The selection of cities and regions in the different geographical areas is being made by the EU delegations, and is different in each geographical area. So actually, I think the only one doing an open call is North America. Okay, so yeah, it's different. So what we are talking today about the call is only about the call that we are managing, which is for European cities and regions. Okay. How to apply as a stakeholder? Okay, directly as a stakeholder you cannot apply, but you you should have a city where you're working or a region that you're working with to apply, and you will be within their team. Okay. Okay, I'm reading Anna's. Okay, more questions maybe from there that okay, some of them have been answered already. Is there an annual call? Initially not. It will depend. Initially we have one call, so we can have 24 months to have you working together. Only in the case that we didn't receive enough quality applications to do the matching, we will have another call, smaller, at the end of this year. But we hope to get, I'm sure we're going to get very good application forms in this call. Okay, the most important, okay.
Sandra,
maybe,
I think we can maybe close it here. I am extracting the chat from this conversation, so we can go through the questions afterwards.
I can stay for I don't have any problem to stay and answer more questions. I mean, really. I mean, it's okay for me. It's no problem. I don't know if it's it depends on the people. If they are still here and they want to ask questions, I'm okay with that. I can stay 5-10 minutes more.
We still have 188 participants.
Yeah, that's why. So maybe they want to.
We can stay a bit longer.
So please, if you have questions, put them in the chat again, because Better to develop new townships and cities to meet the growing urban migration. Will this also be taken up? Wow. This one is regions. Will this also be taken up new city development under the program as region to region framework under the thematic issue for SDG? Okay, if you're talking about thematic, we have included the as sub themes the main ones, but in the application form you have the possibility to suggest another theme of your interest. Okay, so if there is within these priorities of the European Commission and there's matching possibilities, it could be included. Okay. So let's say that we selected some sub-themes, but if there's other ones that are of more interest for you, that could change. It could happen. Where to find documentation about the program? Okay, what we have is in the website, and in the website you can also access the websites from the previous phase. We have an international one, specific one for Latin America, and a specific one for China. So you can check work that has been done there, or in our going through our website, basically. Thank you. Good luck. Regards from Turkey. Sorry about that. That would have been cool. As associations in Europe, can we apply with a selection of some cities which do good things, or we need to apply according to general action of the association? Okay, if you're an association of cities, I would say you should apply, but you should specify like a leading. Yeah, let's see. If just remembering, in IURC there were 3 small cities from Greece, okay, who were participating. So that's what we call now is you would apply under functional area, okay. But there was also the city of Velletri in the metropolitan area of Rome was signing the agreements, but Rome was also involved, and actually Anchi Lazio, the association, was also part of but they decided to present the application form with Velletri. So this is a little bit up to you. If you tell us, okay, we are this number of cities, we will be represented by the association, and this is our leading city, but just try to explain it. Looking at the please stay. Okay. Will this webinar be published? Yes, it will be published, and also the presentation. Do you spread the parents equally around all geographical areas, or do you limit or prefer some continents? No, you will see a slide. We said that 12 in the case of city to city, 12 in Latin America, 8 in North America, 10 in China, 34 in Australasia. And in the case of regions, is 10 in Latin America and 10 in China. Thank you to all of you as well. I'm sorry, but I must have session now. Okay. Yes. When will the slides and recording be shared? Probably, Ariana, I don't know, this afternoon, I guess.
We can post the news on the website. So if you visit our website, you will see a news with the link to the YouTube and the link to the presentation.
Still 160 people. Maybe this is sometimes people get in and then they leave and then they come back. I don't know if we have that, but yeah. More questions? I'm checking at all panelists and all participants. Okay, I should be seeing everything, right? Could you set up a LinkedIn IURC group? Ariana, I don't know if you want to answer that, or Anthony, because I think we have a LinkedIn page, right? I don't know if
it's in the chat. You can follow us on LinkedIn.
Okay, do the parent have to write? If the cooperation from IURC will be continued in IURC, do the parent have to write a whole new UCAP? Good question. If you ended up working, if you apply, you are selected, and you ended up working because you're finishing with the same city you were cooperating, because it's also selected in the other country, you can follow up with the work, but we will ask you to, the UCAP will be a bit different, basically. Okay, so it's a roadmap of cooperation. We will need what you want to do in this period, even if it's included actions from the other one. Yeah. When you ask for allocation, did your city participate in this program first phase? Does it include to participate in the World City project? No. You can tell us, because we're asking you about your experience. You can tell us, yeah, we did participate in World Cities, but we are asking you about IUC first phase. If postulate a new project can still remain working with former IUC region. If postulate a new project can still, yeah, I mean, you have the chance to keep working with the same partner that you had, okay? And of course, if you are not applying and you just keep working, you will have all the online tools available for you in the program. Okay, it's just that if you don't apply and not selected, you will initially will not be supported to travel and do the study visits, unless concrete exceptions. Okay, that I was mentioning, because you are invited specifically to an event by this geographical area. Okay, we are gladly listening. Can existing city-to-city and region-to-region partnerships developed outside IURC for many years already, participate in IURC and follow up the specific event angles? Okay, you guys have to apply. Actually, we ask you about if you have already someone that is applying at the same time. I think there's a question about that in the application form. Okay, but we expect that we would like to support the development of relations. Maybe if you have already a lot of relations, maybe supported by other programs, maybe you don't need IURC. So, okay, but you have a space for that. We are asking you about that. Can you please indicate previous IURC region as a partner region? I don't really get that. Can you apply and indicate previous IURC region as a partner region in IURC? As a partner region? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean with that. When you're applying, you are asked if you were already in IURC, and we ask you where you cooperating with. Okay. But that region will probably be also a partner in the program, so it's already part of the network. So it's again the same thing. You can keep working together in a virtual format or supported to travel if you apply and are selected. Okay. Still 134 people connected. Okay, more questions or more questions? We will have on call for application each year. Okay, this is again, that was answered before. No, initially, this will be the first application and probably, yeah. First application and probably, and probably the only one. Sorry about that. We will have a call. Can all cities work with the new IURC cities without application? Virtually, you can work with everyone if there's common interest, of course. This new program will run from September until September 2020, until the end of 2023. We will probably have the final event in November 2023. So you will be working with your pair or cluster in your cooperation plan until September. That we will maximum September 2023, where we need the final results that will be presented in the final event. I just found the city application form. May you explain metropolitan area and functional area concepts? Okay, metropolitan area, it depends on the countries. For example, in Italy, we had the case of Bologna participating as a city in one geographical area, and then we have Bologna metropolitan area working in another one. Something similar happened to Lyon, okay? And in the case of functional areas, we're talking about functional areas, a group of cities, municipalities that are sharing a common challenge, and they can justify, they have this common challenge and they can work together. And for some reasons, they have functional relation. Okay.
Sandra,
okay. Yeah. We. This is not a delay. This is an extra for those that wanted to stay actually. So okay.
But I think we can say goodbye and send everybody to lunch. And
lunch, sorry, I'm Spanish. I eat at 3 o'clock. That's why I didn't realize you guys in Europe have to eat. Okay.
I think so. If the questions that you are still that are still coming, please check the frequently asked questions. I'm gonna put the specific link to the frequently asked question now in the chat, in case you want to see if the questions are already answered there. If not, you can write us, and we are happy to support you in case you have any additional question that we did not cover in the frequently asked question or in this chat with Sandra Marin that kept us company for an additional half an hour.
Sorry about that. No, and especially to my team, because they all have to be there. But I was just, it's not a delay, it's an extension of the meeting to answer question. Okay, but so, yeah.
Okay, but then thank you, everyone.
Okay. Thank you very much. Hope
we
to
will see you soon.
Apply. Thanks.